Okay, practice test. We're looking at this figure, which is a triangular prism. And we want to say, what is the plane parallel to BCD? That's the top. Parallel to the top would be the bottom. So we have plane A, E, and F. So that answer would be C. For number 2, identify a parallel segment to CD. So we have CD, which is here. And we want to talk about parallel to CD, so it has to be on the same plane. So that's going to be FE, or EF, which would be J. For DE, we want to know which segment is skewed to DE. Now remember, DE, we're looking for not parallel and not intersecting. So our intersecting lines are here. Our parallel lines are here. So that leaves us these two lines, which are not parallel and not intersecting. So we have either BC or AF. BC is our only option, so we choose BC. Number 4, we are identifying the special names. So our first angle pair is 1 and 8. They are on the outside and they're on opposite sides of the transversal, so they're alternate exterior. Our next angle pair is 3 and 7. They're on the same side and they're in the same position, so those are corresponding. Our next angle, no next angle pair. Given that A is parallel to B, and we have the measure of angle 2 is equal to 65, we want to find angle 6. So we're going to go through and we're going to label in yellow all of our angles that are congruent, and then all of our green angles are congruent. So we're looking at angle 2, which is green. So angle 2 is green, and angle 6 is also green. Since these are green, they're equal. So I'm going to have angle 2 is 65. That means angle 6 is also 65. So that's G. Then we have given A is parallel to B, and angle 3 is 5x plus 10, and angle 5 is 3x plus 10. Well, angle 3 is green, and angle 5 is yellow. Because I have a green and a yellow, these are going to add up to 180. So I have 5x plus 10 plus 3x plus 10 is equal to 180. So that gives me 8x plus 20 is equal to 180. Subtract 20 from both sides, and I get 8x is equal to 160. Divide by 8, and I get that x is equal to 20. So that's C. For our next question, we want to say what angle relationship justifies L parallel to M. So again, we're going to have our alternating angles that are congruent. And we want to look at what choices we have. We have 1 and 7. 1 and 7 are vertical angles. This doesn't tell us anything about parallel. We have 3 and 4. Those are linear pair. That doesn't tell us anything about parallel. 4 and 5 are another linear pair. So we have 6 and 8. 6 and 8 are corresponding, and they're congruent, so that tells us J. The fact that these corresponding angles are congruent tells us that the two lines are parallel. Next, we want angle 2 and angle 6. they are both yellow. Angle 2 and angle 6 are yellow. So they're alternate interior angles. So in order for them to make the lines parallel, these two things have to be equal. So we need to set them equal to each other. 8x minus 6 is equal to 6x plus 8, and solve them from there. Subtract 6x from both sides, and that gives us 2x minus 6 is equal to 8. Add 6 to both sides, and that gives us that 2x is equal to 14. Divide by 2, and that gives us that x is equal to 7. And I want to just double check, they did say find x, so I don't have another step, so my answer is C. Now, if I know that angle 6 and angle 7 add up to 180, what postulate or theorem tells me that L is parallel to M? These are corresponding angles, consecutive interior angles. So that's the theorem that tells me that those two things are parallel. Okay, 11 and 12, we're doing slope. Again, if you want to draw this on graph paper, you can, but I'm just going to do them algebraically. So for number 11, I have 0 minus 5 over 5 minus 0, which gives me negative 5 over 5, which gives me negative 1. So that's A. And then for number 12, I'll have 2 minus negative 4 over 1 minus negative 2. The double negative makes it positive. So 2 plus 4 over 1 plus 2. So 6 over 3, which is 2. Okay, I've got A and B and C, and we need to make these two lines parallel. So if they're parallel, then the slopes will be equal. So for number 13, I find the slope of AB first. So 4 minus 7 over 8 minus 1 is equal to negative 3 over 7. So now I want CD to have a slope of negative 3 over 7. So I have 10 minus some number over 3 minus some number is going to give me negative 3 over 7. So 10 minus y is equal to negative 3, and 3 minus x is equal to 7. So if I subtract 10 from both sides, I'm going to get that negative y is equal to negative 13. So y is equal to 13. And I don't even have to go any further. There's only one possible solution with y is 13. But even if there were more than one, I would solve for x. I would subtract 3 from both sides. Oh. That didn't work. Let's see. I could be... Okay, sorry. Let me go back over this again. 10 minus y over x, 3 minus x is going to equal negative 3/7. So that means 10 minus y equals negative 3, or it could be 10 minus y equals positive 3. And we've got 3 minus x is equal to 7, or 3 minus x is equal to negative 7. So we need to check both of those. If I solve this one, I'm going to get y is equal to 13 and x is equal to negative 4. I don't have that option. So doing this one, I'm going to get y is equal to 7 and x is equal to 10. This option I do have, so it's not going to be D, it is going to be C. Sorry, we do need to double check that. And then we'll need to do this again with the perpendicular one. So my first slope is negative 5 minus 4 over 2 minus negative 1, which gives me negative 9 over 3, which is negative 3 over 1. So my perpendicular is going to be 1/3. So I have y, I can do this, y minus 4 over x minus 3 from this 4 and 3 is equal to 1/3. So y minus 4 equals 1, x minus 3 equals 3, y equals 5, x equals 6. I don't have that option, so I have to try the other thing that would give me a positive, which would be negative 1 over negative 3, and I get y is equal to 3, x is equal to 0. I don't have that option either. I just paused this and double checked it, and this is one of those cases where they've made a mistake. If that happens on the real test, of course, no credit would be taken away for wrong answers because there is no right answer. So before I give you guys the test, I'll be sure to double check all of the answers, which is what I generally do. Okay, 15. We have an equation of a line with a slope of 4 and a y-intercept of negative 3. This is m, this is b. We're doing y equals mx plus b. So 4x minus 3, so C. Now we have a little bit more to do. We have a slope 2, and then we have the point 3,1. This is x, this is y. Oh, and it's in point slope form. So point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So I have y minus 1, that's my y, is equal to 2 times x minus 3. Y minus 1 is equal to 2 times x minus 3, so that's F. For number 17, yoga lessons are $5 per lesson if you pay a fee of $100, $20 per year. So you're going to pay $120 per year plus $5 per lesson. This is multiplying, so it's going to be 120 plus 5 times the number of lessons. So if we call that L, and then we can rearrange it, and you get the answer as B. Okay, we want to find the distance from P to line N. Well, this one's easier than any of the ones we did in the examples because it's a straight vertical line. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This distance is 5. Okay, now I want to find the distance between the parallel lines y equals 4 and y equals 6. I'm going to recommend that if you have this kind of a horizontal vertical line thing, graph it. The line y equals 4 is right here. 5, 6. Line y equals 6 is right here. And I'm 1, 2. For number 20, I have y equals x and y equals x plus 2. Okay, these are parallel lines. If I graph y equals x, my y-intercept is 0, my slope is 1, so I go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So I have a slope of 1. And y equals x plus 2, I go up 2, and then I have a slope of 1, and they're running parallel to each other. Now, there's no straight line here to tell the distance, because this line won't tell me the distance because that's not perpendicular. I need a perpendicular line. So I'm going to need a line that is perpendicular. So I have to find the point of intersection. Well, what I need to do is I'm going to use y equals x plus 2. I'm going to use that y-intercept of 0, 2 as my first point. I'm going to graph the line of the perpendicular. If my one slope is positive 1, my perpendicular slope is going to be negative 1. So I'm going to have y is equal to negative x plus 2. I'm going to graph it to the same intercept, and I'm going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And in this case, I'm intersecting at a perfect point. My intersection is the point 1, 1. And now I have to find the distance between them. So I'm going to do that on another page. So distance is the square root of x1 minus x2 plus y1 minus y2. Both of those are squared. My x's are 1 and 0. And my y's are 2 and 1. So I get the square root of 2 is my answer. Square root of 2 is h. For the bonus, the slope of a line perpendicular to y equals negative 2. Y equals negative 2 is a horizontal line with a slope of 0. Perpendicular to a slope of 0 is undefined.